Is Sam Bankman Fried going to go to jail over all this? He very well might. We'll get into that in a second, but let's just recap what's happened here. Check this out. Of course, Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency trading platform, said Wednesday it was walking away from a deal to buy rival exchange FTX because on Tuesday they came out and they said, hey, here's our letter of intent. We're going to buy FTX and we're going to provide the liquidity that all the people need on there, and we're going to get your exchange for pennies on the dollar. Look like a good deal, right? I guess not, because here's what Binance said. Binance said in a statement, abandoning the deal because of mishandled customer funds. Wow. And check this out. The press reports that U.S. regulatory agencies would be investigating FTX. Whoa. Herein begins the possibility of Sam Bankman going to jail. I'm going to show you some more stuff in a second. It's going to show you what types of things the regulatory agencies are investigating. It may blow your mind, so stick around. As a side note, since we had the midterm elections come up, he was the second largest Democratic donor. Wow. And that means he has a lot of money. But does he anymore? We're going to get into that in a second. His wealth has obviously decreased. How much? I'll show you in a second. The future of one of the largest crypto trading platforms in question and raises questions about the finances of its customers. Talking about FTX, of course. FTX is actually the fourth largest exchange in the world, excluding Coinbase, because Coinbase doesn't count in all of this. And check out what Yeshua Yadav, law professor at Vanderbilt University, said. Check this out. If the news is really this bad at FTX, then I'd have an extremely bleak prognosis. So she's former legal counsel for the World Bank, who of course closely follows crypto and financial markets. Check this out. FTX was a company that had a halo around it, and it was, wasn't it? Obviously, that halo has been broken, shattered, thrown in the dump, and burned up at this point, but it really, really did. That's why this is so shocking, all of this. If it's essentially on its last legs, then that spells bad news for customers and the industry as a whole. It would heighten panic, further losses, and create a sense of existential doom. I don't know about the existential doom part, but it is really, really nasty. Because here we are thinking this company who's out here, putting its name on Miami sports arena, putting its name on Major League Baseball, being in UFC, buying up Voyager, which, gosh, dang it, I have some money in Voyager. Guess that deal's not going to go through, huh? And they really did have what she says this halo around them. Sam Bankman, all that stuff, and now here we are. It's just so shocking. Check this out. Also today, Bitcoin, right, dropped 15% to 15,600, the lowest it has been since November 2020. Does that blow your mind at least a little bit? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, by the way. Over-the-air fist bump if you did. Thank you very much. And check out what Binance had to say. In the beginning, our hope was to be able to support FTX's customers and provide liquidity, but the issues are beyond our control or ability to help. FTX faced at least a $6 billion shortfall in assets to cover its liabilities. Wow. Does that shock you at least a little bit? $6 billion shortfall? And of course, the bank run started yesterday. And it's come through today, and FTX obviously halted withdrawals today because that bank run wiped them out. FTX, by the way, starting the week had about 20,000 Bitcoins in its exchange. It is now down to zero, and it happened within a matter of about 36 hours. Wow. So I feel for you if you have anything on FTX, because I don't know if you're going to get it back. I'm very sorry to say that. And of course, we got to talk about FTT token, the token of FTX. A massive sell-off obviously happened as panic ensued. So Bankman Fried's fortune, this is what I'm going to get to. What's Sam Bankman Fried worth now? At the peak, he was worth about $26 billion. And at the beginning of the week, he was worth about $15.6 billion. These implosions vaporized 94% of his wealth, kicking him out of even being a billionaire. I know, boo-hoo, woo-hoo, maybe he's got 400 to 600 million, but you know what? At the time of this article here, Sam Bankman, I don't think he has $1 in value to his name actually right now. That's how fast and crazy all of this happened and went down. Absolutely mind-blowing. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit the like if you want to. But we're going to get into some more juicy stuff. You stick around, buddy. You're going to be happy you did. Very interesting coming up. It should probably also be said that FTX is probably just going to straight up go bankrupt, right? Like Voyager did, like Celsius did. But I don't think anyone's going to be able to really come in and provide a substantial amount of liquidity for FTX customers, which is really, really sad. This is a black swan event. It's very important to realize this. This is absolutely a black swan event. And this is the way they go down. They just come out of nowhere. Now let's dive into something that shows you about FTX and Alameda Research. You've probably heard of Alameda Research. Both of these are Sam Bankman Fried's, little babies. Didn't it always feel like there was a lot of overlap? Like, what's really the difference between the two? Let's dive into this. This is going to get you, I don't want to say excited, but it's going to get you, you're going to be like, holy crap. That's what you're going to say. Plus, when you see what the FTT token, what it has done, and how it was used is absolutely, it feels so obvious. It's like, how did we not see this sooner? Let me show you something. This is the FTT chart, the token of FTX. Look at this. Check this out. On Wednesday of last week, right? FTT was worth over 26, almost $27. Here's what it's worth right now. Look at the low it got down to. It got down to $2. Barely over $2. How mind-blowing is that? It went down about 93, 94% in a matter of a day. FTT, the token of FTX. This is just crazy black swan madness. Absolutely bonkers. And we're going to get into some more stuff showing you about FTT in terms of course, it's dumping so much because of the FTX thing, but I'm going to show you how FTX and Alameda use the FTT token and why Sam very well is possibly going to jail. One other thing I want to show you, though, first is the Solana chart. Okay, Solana right now is at $15. It went down to a low of about $12.20. Right here on Saturday, Solana was at $38, and it dropped all the way down here. Now, let's get very clear on this. This FTX thing has nothing to do with the effectiveness or the network of Solana. Why it's dumping so hard is because FTX owns about 10% of all the Solana coin. So this is anticipatory. Is that a word? Anticipatory? Did I say that right? Dumping of Solana. Plus, at the time of me shooting this, in about the next 4 hours, there's going to be literally another $1 billion of Solana getting unlocked from staking, and that's expected to hit the market. So even though we're looking at $15, this could get very, very low in price. Me, myself, I'm going to be a buyer because this whole thing has nothing to do with Solana, the network, has nothing to do with Solana, what it's built, it has nothing to do with it. Other than that FTX happens to hold a lot of Solana coin, and a lot of people are scared that FTX is going to dump it to cover their debts, which they very well probably will if they haven't at least started to already. So now, this looks like a great discount to me, in my opinion. Not financial advice. By the way, if you find yourself wondering, what is this indicator here, the buy-sell labels and the momentum waves? It is Lever Atlas. It is my own indicator. If you click the link in the description, you can find your way over to it. I really suggest taking the Masterclass that I have here. If you click the link, this is where you'll end up. This Masterclass, how I get Bitcoin for free when price goes down, free Masterclass. And Lever Atlas, here's the indicator. Especially on a day like this, me and my Lever Atlas members have gotten a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptos for free because the price went down. Pretty mind-blowing. Take the class if you don't know what I'm talking about here, if that at least gets you a little curious. Now let me show you some more stuff about FTT, Alameda, FTX, and Sam Bankman. It might blow your mind. To you, we're going to head over to Elon Musk's new Tesla called Twitter, if you've ever heard of it. And we're going to go to this account, johnwoo.eth. Shout out to John Woo for putting this out. Absolutely great. So check this out. He made a great thread. Let's go through it together. You're going to want to see this. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. FTX was the world's third largest crypto exchange, third or fourth, depending on the day. It said it's insolvent in the midst of the acquisition by Binance. Here's everything you need to know about Alameda Research and the collapse of FTX. Check this out. So, obviously, FTX faced several liquidity issues over the past 3 days and agreed to terms with its competitor, Binance and investor, because Binance did do a seed round with FTX. That's why it had so much FTT coin. You know, here's him talking about this full circle, first and last, doing the deal with Binance. That was yesterday, November 8th. And less than a week ago, November 2nd, CoinDesk broke the story claiming to have acquired Alameda Research's balance sheet. This is what started all of this on November 2nd. This is where it showed damning view of the relationship between Alameda, a hedge fund, and FTX, an exchange. This is why Sam might be going to jail. Let's dive into this. So the balance sheet accuracy was subsequently confirmed by Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison. So why was this a big deal, and how did it result in one billionaire acquiring another billionaire's company and the entire crypto market going into free fall? So Caroline says this: a few notes on the balance sheet info that has been circulating recently. That specific balance sheet is for a subset of our corporate entities. We have over $10 billion of assets that aren't reflected there. Sure, Caroline, sure. Alameda is FTX's founder and billionaire Sam Bankman Fried's first venture, a wildly successful crypto hedge fund he founded after getting his start arbitraging the Japanese Bitcoin premium. That is how Sam started. Isn't that interesting? Now check this out. Alameda pivoted to becoming a market maker after arbitrage opportunities dried up. Became a market maker. Very key. Making massive sums employing quantitative trading strategies. It earned a reputation for exceptional returns and a less sterling reputation for quietly dumping on retail. Sam Bankman-Fried says, the clearest way to help protect investors is to provide transparency and prevent scams. FTX was in fact founded after Alameda as a platform for traders by traders. By its own measures, FTX is the third or fourth largest exchange. That's what I was saying, third or fourth given the day. Bybit is actually where I do most of my trading. We talk a lot about that. Click the link in the description. That's mostly what we used to trade with to get our free Bitcoin when price goes down. And since its inception, there's been wild speculation on the relationship between the entities, that being FTX and Alameda. Now, it doesn't help that in the early days, Alameda was the first market maker for FTX, giving the exchange the liquidity it needed to get off the ground. Interesting. The crux of this current crisis is a narrative violation surrounding that relationship. That's exactly what we're going to get into. That is exactly why Sam will probably go to prison. You ever heard of a guy named Charles Ponzi? You may be thinking, what? FTX is a Ponzi scheme? Kinda. Check this out. The prevailing narrative of FTX Alameda has been one of brazen corruption. FTX gives Alameda priority order flow. Conflict of interest, can we say? Allowing its sister hedge fund to front run other traders. So FTX here is basically Alameda's inside man. Taking a few privileged basis points on the third largest exchange would be a perpetual money machine. Sam, that is not legal. But FTX isn't Alameda's data source. So FTX is Alameda's piggy bank. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, it's like going to a bank where a lot like Wells Fargo or something, and you get priority to everything. You get to actually get a piece of all the action is really what happens. That's what Alameda is doing here. Sam uses a highly profitable exchange as a source of capital for a wildly profitable trading operation. So FTX is probably, it is in my opinion, funding Alameda's trading operation. They are that connected, and that is not legal or ethical at all. In a moment of foreshadowing, Sam tells David Rubenstein about Alameda's early days. We were cobbling together credit agreements. It must be wildly frustrating to have a winning strategy but no capital to deploy. FTX was invented to solve that issue. Let me say that again. It must be wildly frustrating to have a winning strategy but no capital to deploy. FTX was invented to solve the no capital issue. FTX just kind of funnels money to Alameda. Yeah, those are the words I'm using and I'm sticking to them. Let's return to Alameda's balance sheet. Check this out. The incriminating revelation from CoinDesk was that of a plurality of Alameda's assets, which is like a blending, which is not supposed to exist. Not allowed, not legal. 5.8 billion of the 14.6 billion reported were in FTX's own exchange token, FTT. 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 5.8 billion of the 14.6 billion in Alameda's asset balance sheet was in FTT token, a token made out of thin air by FTX. A large majority of the rest were in Solana ecosystem tokens, hence why we are seeing, obviously, FTT dump, but also why we're seeing Solana dump. Are you getting this yet? Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. As with other exchange tokens, owning and staking FTT offers certain benefits to traders on FTX's exchange. Yes, if you have FTT, you get discounted trading fees, access to airdrops, free withdrawals, and VIP access. Well, Alameda got that and a whole lot more. Another key to FTT's design, stick with me here. You're going to want to hear all this. This is juicy. Another key to FTT, and it's important to know this type of stuff if it pops up in the future. If this happened with FTX, the third or fourth largest exchange on the planet in crypto that was wearing a halo that we were all like, all right, yeah, Sam Bankman, the JP Morgan of crypto, he's coming in being the savior. Oh yeah, halo over their head, halo over FTX, and then it crashes and burns in a matter of basically 24 hours because of this bullshit right here. We need to know how to identify this because as we go through this, it just looks so obvious. That how in the hell did we not notice that? Same thing with Luna. How in the hell did people not realize that this is all just completely fake and it's a house of cards, matches just waiting to be lit up with just the littlest spark? Exactly what's going on here. One of three here. Of FTX's own trading revenue was used to purchase and burn FTT supply. The equivalent of retiring shares, like buying back shares, but retiring. Sam himself promoted the weekly FTT buy from his personal account. Okay, 33% of fees generated in FTX markets, blah, 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 September weekend. At the same time, FTT had remarkably low circulating liquidity relative to Alameda and FTX's holding, right? FTT had low circulating liquidity relative to Alameda and FTX's holdings. How's that possible? In other words, even if Alameda wanted to sell the 5.8 billion of FTT it had, there wouldn't be enough buyers. Interesting. Alameda's holdings represented 2 to 3x of FTT's circulating supply. Let that settle in. 2 to 3 times Alameda's holdings of FTT represented 2 to 3x of FTT's circulating supply. There's a problem. This low float, high FDV strategy is worth touching on, and it is. I agree with you, John Woo, because it applies to other tokens on Alameda's balance sheet, most in the Solana ecosystem. Serum, MAPS, and I forget what this one is. MAPS, for instance, has a circulating cap of 5 mil to 1.1 billion fully diluted. That's quite a gap. Sam actually cynically described the exact token dynamic to Matt Levine on an Odd Lots episode hosted by the Stalwart. This is hilarious. It's like he's showing us his game plan, not only for farming and dumping crypto yield, but executing FTX's strategy. Absolutely hilarious and ironic. Now the pieces are in place for FTX and Alameda to collude while retaining a legal and legitimate seeming arm's length relationship, all using FTT as the linchpin. Here's how it works. Listen to this. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Listen to this. FTX creates FTT, this token out of thin air, literally worth nothing. Alameda buys and pre-mines FTT at super low prices. Then guess what? FTX pumps FTT. letting Alameda come in early, right? FTX created FTT for free. Lets Alameda come in, buy and pre-mine at super duper low prices. In other words, lets them buy at literally the minimum amount that they possibly can, so Alameda can just fill its bags. It's a total scam. Just like it's like running some kind of scam at a poker game or something like that. You're just feeding your buddy aces, and then they pump up the aces. And Alameda posts FTT back to FTX as collateral. Alameda. So check this out. Listen, hear this. This is insane, but it's so Ponzi. So FTX creates FTT out of thin air. It's worth nothing. Alameda buys it or pre-mines it at super duper low prices. I'm talking like fractions of a penny on the dollar. FTX pumps FTT, runs up the price of FTT, and then Alameda takes this FTT they got at fractions of a penny compared to what it's worth, and then they take it back to FTX, their own bank, as collateral, and then they borrow real assets from FTX's customer deposits. That, my friends, is why Sam is very possibly going to jail. Imagine that. This whole backroom scam bullshit's going, and then Alameda comes over to FTX where you posted your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever you posted, and Alameda puts FTT on FTX as collateral and borrows your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, your Matic, whatever the hell it is. You got, and what were we? What were the people on FTX, the actual users? They were just liquidity. They were actually the bank for Alameda. Alameda stole your funds. Alameda stole your funds through this semi-elaborate scheme, not very elaborate. I feel dumb for not realizing that's how this was going on because this is so basic-ass Ponzi shit. Are you getting this? Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Both entities get to show auditors they have legitimate credit agreements and claim a genuine arm's length relationship. That's how the circulating piggy bank facilitates the transfer of customer funds out of FTX and into Alameda's prop trading business, all while looking legit. But that can't last forever. So how does this all break? Well, low float and constant buy pressure from FTX means the only thing that can make FTT go down is if there was some huge exogenous FTT sale. That's where CZ from Binance comes in. 2 days ago, Changpeng Zhao, CZ, CEO of Binance, announced he was selling all of Binance's FTT holdings worth $500 plus million. Well. Won't that be the fire to the matchstick house that they built? I'll let the rampant speculation fly as to why and what he knew, but he did it, citing recent revelations. That was CZ's tweet. As part of Binance's exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly 2.1 billion USD equivalent in cash, BUSD and FTT. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. In the tune of over 500 million, over $500 million, baby. Caroline from Alameda then offered to purchase the FTT over the counter for $22 to reduce the price impact because, which seems normal, right? That would make sense because if someone's going to sell that much of any coin, it's going to make it go down because that's big sell pressure. But what they knew back here, and Caroline will deny till the day she dies, that this was going to light their entire matchstick house on fire. And it did, didn't it? A strange move to telegraph a price level. That was strange to telegraph the price level, given she could have bought at any lower price. Didn't even want to negotiate, said, we'll just give you full market value. Please, 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 pretty please, don't sell into the market because our matchstick house will go up on fire. Caroline knew. CZ, this is on Twitter. If you're looking to minimize the market impact on your FTT sales, Alameda will happily buy it off from you today at $22, which was the market value at the time, roughly. And to put this on here is to basically put CZ on blast, saying, hey, we'll do this. That's cool. Twitter's watching. You should just do this with us. Why wouldn't you? And he's like, no, recent revelation. CZ knew. CZ knew he wanted to sell into the market because he knew it would burn them down. To which CZ politely declined, again, a strange move, given he could have sold FTT higher. Okay, I was wrong. $22 is actually higher than the market value. Occam's razor would say the goal is therefore to sink FTT's price, and sink it did, just like I said. I didn't say that. It was a question, not a commitment. I think we will stay in the free market. We still hold Luna today, laughing. Okay, this is him basically calling, we're about to burn you to the ground, and buy your entire business for pennies on the dollar, and you're going to open all your books and beg us to buy you, is what he's saying here. That's what's going on here. That is what's going on here. That is what is going on here. Sell pressure against FTT pushed against the stated $22 level, and defense of the peg fell around 8 p.m. November 7th. By the morning of the 8th, FTX had paused all withdrawals of user funds. Wow. Before the end, Alameda and friendly to FTX entities scrambled to facilitate customer withdrawals and preserve confidence. SBF stepped in to assert FTX's solvency, which was later deleted, this tweet, which was a lie that he had posted. The fear that Alameda's shoddy balance sheet was commingled with FTX's led to liquidity crisis and ultimately to today's offer by CZ to acquire the exchange. So that's it, right? I like that they said there. But then why defend the $22 number? Because Alameda was clearly a debtor to entities other than FTX. Meaning if FTT dropped down too low, Alameda was going to get margin called by other entities. FTX would say, whatever, we'll work something scammy out and let you off, not liquidate you. Alameda's getting liquidated by other entities. So if it's just an agreement between kissing cousins, who cares? But Alameda, who also had a counterparty to failed crypto banks Voyager and BlockFi. We do know that Alameda was a debtor to Voyager at the time of the bankruptcy, 3AC bankruptcy, to the tune of $370 million. So, Alameda lost that money. How much USD denominated liabilities do they have against the illiquid pile of assets? Interesting. That's a little bit of money there. It's perhaps clear now why Sam was so intent on bailing out failed crypto lenders over the summer. Let that settle in. It's perhaps clear now why Sam was so intent on bailing out failed crypto lenders over the summer, because his buddy, his real bank account, Alameda, had a shitload of money in Voyager, and that's why FTX went to buy Voyager. This is all one big scam, people. This is all one big sham. It's disgusting. Pisses me off because it makes crypto look so bad. But all we got to do is learn from this stuff. That's just the way it is. They needed to defend the solvency of their own banks. And at the time, FTX had more than enough liquidity to do so at the time. Today, BlockFi signed a term sheet with FTX officials to secure a revolving credit facility, provided access to capital that further bolsters our balance sheet and platform strength. I forgot about BlockFi, Voyager and BlockFi, Alameda, Sam's bank account, Sam's personal account had a lot of money in BlockFi and Voyager, a lot. Now there's a seeming multi-billion-dollar hole at FTX, and Sam, the previous lender of last resort, has had to turn to CZ for help. There's a new king in crypto. In a year of turmoil, the last 24 hours have been the worst thing that's happened to crypto space by orders. It has. It's been terrible. It underscores the need, again, for transparent, over-collateralized systems that can deleverage in an orderly manner. It ironically underscores the need for crypto. It really does. Because FTX and Alameda and Sam were all extremely centralized, is how it turns out. And Sam, if he does not go to prison, I will be shocked. This is why regulatory agencies will be investigating FTX, which is also another major reason CZ, even if the holes in the books weren't as bad as they're made out to be, he wouldn't want to touch it because of this either. Sam's going to jail. He's going to prison. And he's broke. And he's broke. He went from $15.6 billion to start the week to negative. He's now negative. and probably going to prison. If you ever think you're having a bad day, you remember this story. This guy went from mega rich, multi-billionaire to more than broke and probably going to prison and humiliated in a matter of a day. Call it 2 days if you want. Hope you found this helpful. Hope you enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and check out that link in the description, because if you want to learn how to get free crypto when price goes down, take that masterclass. You're awesome. Thanks for spending the time with me.